Everybody come see the great show. Get a rope, ball, triple loops, and roll. Everybody come see the great show. Get a rope, ball, triple loops, and roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark. For over 10 years, dominating the podcast world. Now sit back, relax, and get ready to have some fun. Let's welcome your hosts, Blake, Sal, and Mark.
Adrenaline in the soul, every out of control. Do it all to get them off their feet. Crazy about the flow, waiting for me to start the show. After the lights go up, wow. And my father said, we're always hot topics. You took it off.
Hello and welcome to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark, episode number 503. I am one of your hosts, Blake. Come on, you knew we were going to open up with the song today. You knew. You kind of knew. Moving on to my co-host. First of all, the biggest in podcasting, who was really annoyed with me for being anti-Eclipse this week. Having anti-stance on the Eclipse. Like, wow, really annoyed me.
It was not stupid.
I'm sorry.
Not stupid.
It's not like it was once in a lifetime. We just did this 6 years ago. We just did this. Like,
but it wasn't. But it 80%.
It was here. I know because I saw it work. Like, it happened 7 years ago. I saw it. Like, I was one of the joke girls down with the glasses. I saw it.
Before I forget.
Yeah.
Since we're playing this, why didn't we get a live entrance of this?
I have no idea. They were teasing it. I don't know. It's a great question. That's a fantastic question. I don't have an answer to. They were teasing it for weeks. I don't know what happened.
Right.
I was touching it. It didn't happen. I was very surprised. That's one of the disappointments I really had. I'm very surprised by that too. Good call. I didn't think about it. Let's look at our early co-host, the man, the myth, the legend, Mark. Dad, how you doing?
Doing well. And for you gentlemen over here for the Eclipse, we got 90%. And I'm telling you, all the hype and all the hubbub, to me, it was overhyped.
Thank you.
And, you didn't have to get the glasses to do this.
You could burn your eyes. You could burn your eyes.
Stupid.
I mean, all you had to do is look
It's
down.
a gimmick to make money.
Yeah, all you had to do is look down at the sidewalk and see as, the phases.
Or use your phone. Like
hang
I did.
on 1 second. Before I forget. This is Downstate Kingdom. I forgot to say that before earlier. Everyone knows the song. But I have to
really?
No, guys. I have to officially say that legally. I have to officially say that.
I know.
For legal reasons, I have to say that. So, okay, back to what we're talking about.
Okay,
It was up curve.
Yeah, well, just for legal reasons, I had to say that. Anyway, but back to what I was saying. The whole thing with the Eclipse, if you want to hear something hilarious. So Evan and Tiki were doing their show live, obviously, in New York, during the Eclipse. I did not realize Tiki Barber was such a science geek. Never knew that until this week. And he literally went outside with one of the producers and the glasses and did a live commentary of the Eclipse from the streets in New York outside the studio. It was hilarious. It was so damn funny. And the funny part is people started saying, "Are you Tiki Barber?" Like, it was such a random thing going on. It was absolutely. If you go to the Evan and Tiki podcast feed, it's like a 10-minute segment on. Because the cool thing about their show, they put it up in hour form, but they also put it up in like segments. So like there's like a 10-minute segment. It's absolutely hilarious if you want to hear it. It's really, really funny. But yeah, that's how I enjoyed the club, listening to Tiki Barber, looking at it. So
my understanding, the places that had 100%, the temperature dropped like 20 degrees and the wind picked up.
I will say this. I will thank the eclipse for one reason. The temperature went up here like 15 degrees afterwards. I can't complain because now it's fucking gorgeous here. Like I have the window open behind me. It's absolutely gorgeous here. So like, I can't complain. Especially going back to work this week, I can't complain at all. Like I was driving, I had work today. I was driving before we did the show. I had my window open. I'm blasting music because it's beautiful outside. Like, couldn't ask for better weather today. So
Had the top down.
well, not that far. I don't go that far. I had the window open. I had the window open. That was nice. I don't have a top to go down on my damn car. Like,
I was waiting to see if you were gonna
drive a
get
fucking Kia. Fucking have a Kia. What the fuck?
sunroof open.
But okay, let me do this real fast as always. Go pick up Andy's book. I know I am available right now. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Orange App Publishing in English and in Spanish.
Fuck them kids.
All right.
Thank you.
I guess without wasting any time.
And now let's get into the crazy world of professional wrestling.
All right. This is our WrestleMania week recap, people. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on a lot of stuff, but we'll definitely get into the big stuff at WrestleMania. We're going to go through the parallels a little later. But last week, I did promise we get into a little more detail on the Bray Wyatt Becoming Immortal documentary. We're not going to go full detail because go watch it. It's fantastic. I will say.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I will definitely say go out of your way. I be telling you, go out of your way. Because what I appreciated about this documentary, we're used to the behind the scenes stuff. We're used to that. That's nothing new,
Right.
nothing out of the ordinary. What they did here, they went into the archives of like NXT and pulled out stuff that's never been on television before. Like behind the scenes of like early promos that Bray would done with promo class. When revealing the original Bray Wyatt character, which was really cool. And then like they went into the family archives and brought out stuff from the family, and then they showed behind the scenes of the stuff of the Firefly Funhouse, and like how that was making, how that idea came, and the original drawings from the Firefly. Like they went into such detail on every little thing that Bray thought up. It was amazing. It was absolutely incredible. And Bo Dallas was one of the narrators, so that was pretty damn too. Like I will highly recommend it. It's just over 2 hours, but it's worth every fucking minute. And it flew by. I keep telling people this. It looks long, but it flew by. So I agree. Like, so that any thoughts you want to throw out there?
Yeah, it was done very well. And I'm glad that someone had the forethought to save the recorded interviews they had with him.
Oh yeah.
Because if they wouldn't have, those are all those gems that would have been missed. And explained more into deep into Bray's background and family and his dad and his uncles.
Actually, there was one. I'll say this here. There's a video of him after Brody passed, after we lost Brody.
Yep.
John Huber. And I don't know who recorded this and why he recorded this video. I have no idea why it was recorded. But like, here he is crying over his best friend passing. I'm like, where did that video come from? Like, why was that recorded? Like, I don't understand why that was even recorded. But like, it was stuff like that, where it's like, wow. And then there was at the end. I'm not spoiler it because it's worth it.
Right.
At the end, they showed. I'm not for showing funeral footage. That's not something I'm really into personally. But the one thing I appreciated, apparently, Bray's sister was working on a documentary for the Rotunda family. Oh no, she was interviewing the boys for a book that they're writing.
Right.
It was, and she recorded a whole bunch of stuff. Apparently, Wyndham Bray went and actually almost did his eulogy for the book. Well, before anyone knew he was going to pass, it was creepy, but awesome at the same time. It was one of those, whoa, we have this awesome speech by him, almost giving his eulogy for his own funeral. Like, it was such a bizarre, perfectly Bray Wyatt thing to happen. Like, it was such a weird ending, but I loved it. So, and we'll get to the ending of the documentary later when we get to Raw, because that makes a hell of a lot more sense if you've seen the documentary.
And here's another thing. It's very emotional.
Yes, I cried. I was openly crying. Like, I was bawling. Yeah, bawling.
You feel that at the end of the documentary that somehow you connect with the story.
Well, I openly cried on the show. Like here on the show, I didn't expect myself to bawl on the show when we were talking about his passing. And then when I'm watching the documentary, I'm like, I prepared myself. But I think also after the last month, like 7 weeks I've had personally, I never really gave myself a chance to like emotionally get anything out of my system. And I think this gave me the reason to just get everything out of my system.
You know,
just cry and get everything out of my system. So that helped too. You know, one of those things, so that helps.
you gotta give the man credit for being so creative and
one of the smartest minds we've seen in a long time, by far.
You know, and coming up with this character that nobody would have saw coming, and let alone for him to play off so well.
So that's it. That's the Bray Wyatt documentary. Go watch it. Okay, so let's get to WrestleMania week. I did not watch nearly as much wrestling as I planned. I had plans to watch stuff, but I do have a life. You know what I mean? Do have a life, and I have things to do. So, I ended up not seeing. Like, I have not watched Spring Break yet. I haven't had a chance to watch Spring Break yet because I had a choice. What do I want to watch? Two 2-hour shows or one 4.5-hour show? I chose 2 2-hour shows. I chose that instead. And I'm glad I did that because the shows I watched were really good. But so the first show I did watch was Josh Barnett's Bloodsport. And I watched it mainly because I told it last week. I said it 2 weeks ago when we were doing the show. Last week we did the show with John. I'm watching the show because of Shayna. But I'm going to see this show because apparently it's one of the better shows of the year. And I never watched one. Gotta admit, it was really good. It was really good. Oh, I really enjoyed myself.
Was it like a Raw Underground type of thing?
It was fixed MMA. It was MMA, but with a wrestling twist.
Right.
It was actually really cool. Like, it was wrestling, but with more emphasis on like kickboxing and things like that, or like actual MMA moves. And it was really fun.
Did you hear that rumor that they're bringing back ECW again, but in that style?
Really? I didn't hear that. Where'd you hear that?
Oh, really? Yeah, I was reading it over the weekend. Actually, it was over WrestleMania weekends, and they said that Endeavor wants to bring back WWE in that style, like a MMA wrestling half and half. Raw Underground, but a little more intense. And they're going to give it its own show on Peacock.
Really?
And since Paul Heyman has nothing to do now that the Bloodline story is over with, he's going to be, I guess, general manager of that or whatever.
Wow, I did not hear about this. Interesting. How did I miss that story this week? How did I miss that this week? I've been following everything. How did I miss that? How did I miss that one?
I think it's something that people would have to get used to if you've never seen it before, where you have a ring, but there's no ropes.
Yeah, it was interesting because there were no ropes, which I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Going in. I didn't know that going in. So that was intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
it was really cool. Like, okay, I have some notes here. There were some notes. So I'm watching the show. And one thing they did that I didn't know they did was they brought everybody out to the ring. They brought everybody out to the ring and say, here's all the fighters for tonight. Here's everyone you're going to see on the show. Every single person you're going to see on the show. But not in the order they're coming out, but just like, we're going to introduce everybody. And the one that surprised me, all of a sudden, just randomly, Charlie Dempsey walks out. I'm like, Charlie Dempsey? Like, what? I even messaged John, like, did you know Charlie Dempsey's going to be on the show? Like, I don't mean to spoil anything, but did you know he was going to be on the show? Like,
I don't even think he was still with WWE.
He's in NXT for the No Catch crew, and he's actually part of their. He's actually the what the hell is that trophy that Noam Dar carried around for like a year? What the hell is the name of that trophy?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just asking Dak. I know
Heritage Cup.
Thank you, Heritage Cup.
That's it.
The Heritage Cup champion. He's currently the Heritage Cup. But and actually, I like your faction. It's actually really cool. It's something different on NXT. Something different. It's that change of pace. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But so Charlie Dempsey came out like, okay, that's the thing. And then one of the first fights was Nick Nemeth versus Speedball. I'm like, what the hell is this? And Nick Nemeth hitting because every match either ends in submission or referee stoppage. There's no pinfalls. There's no pinfalls.
Right.
So everything has to end in submission or referee. And fucking Nick Nemeth wins hitting I don't actually know the name of the move is now, but the zigzag into a freaking armbar. And I'm like, what? What? Where did that go from? So that was pretty cool. And then there was the bizarreness of Shayna Baszler coming down to the ring with Zoe Stark. Did not expect that one to do her match against Masha to her WWE theme music to fight Masha Slamovich from TNA. And the best part about this is Shayna comes out, the crowd goes nuts for the Shayna Baszler. Well, Masha Slamovich is a former GCW world champion. So everyone loves Masha. So they realized, okay, we're going to root for Masha. Masha's going to be the babyface in this match, in this fight. Well, the problem is Shayna wins. The crowd then says, fuck it. You were a heel. Fuck you, Shayna. They start chanting, fuck you, Shayna. I'm like, oh my God. Absolutely incredible. So that was pretty fun. Oh, good show. Overall, it's a very fun show. Like, I really enjoyed it. One thing I will throw out there, Shayna Baszler, I think because before the Hall of Fame, they were doing a bunch of impromptu interviews just to kill some time between SmackDown and the Hall of Fame. And she was asked about, oh yeah, you did something outside of the WWE this weekend. And it's almost looking at her, he's like, am I allowed to talk about this? Like, am I allowed to talk about it? Because she kind of danced around it. But Charlotte Dempsey on NXT is like, yeah, I was on Bloodsport over on GCW. He blatantly said the whole thing.
Then he asked, how'd you get your black eye?
Fight? Like, it was, oh my God. Charlotte Dempsey just like, fuck it. I'm just going to tell you everything about it. Like, fuck it. That was really funny. So that was Bloodsport. Little note, I wanted to throw a note here. I did watch some of the Pat McAfee show live from the world, and I might be over Pat McAfee at this point. I might be over the guy at this point. But holy fuck, that was annoying. That was fucking annoying. I watched the first hour. Michael Cole was the special guest host with his normal cronies. First of all, they had sound issues because they couldn't get the speakers in the world to work. So the building can't hear them. So they're chanting for the speakers to work the entire first 15, 20 minutes of the show. They're chanting for the speakers. And then we can't hear you. And my personal favorite is Pat saying, can you hear us? One person yells from the front row. And then Pat's like, wait, they can hear us? And then there's dead silence. Like, oh, never mind. Doesn't work yet. Doesn't work yet. I did watch Triple H. He was open. That was fun. And then Cody came out, did his thing. And then after that, I was done because they were over the top with the whole tribal chief stuff. To the point where Michael Cole was getting annoyed. He was getting annoyed. So I was done after that. I was done. I'm not watching anymore. I'll just watch highlights. Look, I'm not watching any more of this. SmackDown happened. Probably one of the best Andre the Giant Battle Royals they've had in a long time. Final four were Bronson Reed, Ivar, Otis, and randomly Akira Tozawa.
As you do.
Wait, it gets better.
Tozawa almost broke his neck. Thrown out, and Otis didn't catch him. And then it came down to Ivar and Bronson Reed. I'm like, holy fuck! And the crowd's going nuts for the meat chants. They're going crazy. Absolutely nuts for this. Well, the funny part was, it was at one point Otis, Ivar, and Reed in the ring together, and the crowd went fucking ballistic. Like, oh my God, it's amazing. By the way, your boy Almost the Tree came back for this, by the way. It may have accidentally eliminated himself. I'm not even sure what happened there. But my favorite part of him being back was pretty deadly. Went to try to eliminate him. He eliminated one of them, and then the other one jumped over the top rope, scared, and ran away.
That's great.
But it was one of the better drays we've seen in a very, very long time. Okay. Hall of Fame. I have a couple of notes. One's important for WrestleMania. One's very important for WrestleMania. But I will note, the Hall of Fame ended later than either night of WrestleMania. Either night. That is late. It was like 1 a.m. Eastern time by the time it was all done.
Why? It was nobody's super important except for Paul Heyman.
The problem is they did Paul Heyman first. And I think Paul Heyman first because I think Roman and Paul just wanted to go home and get some rest for the next night. So it probably was a request. I guarantee it was a request. and Paul went first. And the problem here is everyone came to see Paul. Everyone came to see Heyman.
Right.
So Roman comes out. Although Roman, fantastic in the ring. Fantastic on the mic in the ring. Ask him to do a speech in front of people. As awkward as the rest of us. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of appreciated it because it made him feel very human. It made him feel very human. It was very nice for a change.
It seemed like he was trying to think of what to say.
Yeah, it was very awkward, but good awkward. Like it made him feel human for a change. Yeah. So that was a nice change of pace. If for those who have not seen Heyman's speech yet, see Heyman's speech. It's about a half hour, but it's fucking epic. And I really need a version that's uncensored. I really need someone to find me a version that's uncensored. Because they bleeped so much. Because Heyman did not give a fuck. Heyman did not give a fuck. For the minute he got on the microphone, he did not give a fuck. Because the crowd started chanting, "You deserve it." He came out to the ECW theme, gets to the microphone with a box. We're all questioning what the fuck's in the box. He stands there. Because, you know, some people bring props. Like you do. To the microphone, the crowd starts chanting, "You deserve it, you deserve it." And just he stops for a second, like, "You're fucking right, I deserve it." Well, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. But then he does a promo about himself, and then he talks about himself, but he's always awkward. He didn't like talking about himself, the real him. He didn't like talking about the real him. His kids were in the front next to Aka, which was funny.
It wasn't CM Punk there too?
CM Punk was next to his kids too. They were all sitting next to the kids. That was pretty funny. But then the box. The box is important. The box was he started emptying out this box. And it's the leather jacket from ECW. He takes out the phone, takes out the ball cap, and he turns it on. He literally turns it on like that and cut an entire ECW-centric Paul Heyman promo. It was fucking amazing. It was like a time travel. Like he time traveled to the 90s. It was absolutely fucking incredible.
And during his speech, he went through the roster that was on ECW at the time.
And then said, "This is what came to WWE or WCW." Like, but it all started at a bingo hall. And he said the address is down there. And like, the funny part is, there's a show going on down there while this is going on. I think the super show that I'm going to talk about next was going on in that building as this is going on. So it was fantastic. It was absolutely incredible.
And even Paul said if it wasn't for ECW, you wouldn't have like a Stone Cold Steve Austin. You wouldn't have this famous Rey Mysterio.
No, absolutely.
You wouldn't have Eddie Guerrero.
Go everybody to watch that. Fantastic. Then there was, every year, there's always every for a few years, we have one speech where we're like, what the fuck did we just say? I think the last time was Mr. T.
Yes.
That was the last time.
Yep.
Before that, Sal, we have an epic episode. I think I reposted it last year of us going nuts on Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik.
Yes.
One of my favorite episodes they ever did. One of my favorite early episodes they ever did. Really one of my favorite episodes we ever did in the early days. Just you and me just having a good old time. But so this one, I'm not gonna bullshit you. When we previewed the Hall of Fame last week, we all looked at it like we don't know much about Thunderbolt Patterson. We don't know much about him. And we don't know who Scott Spear was. Well, Scott Spear apparently it was a radio personality who was brought in to talk about Thunderbolt Patterson's career. For him. Absolutely fine. If you left it at that, we're good. Well, here's the thing. I'll explain to you when I went down here. So the New Day comes out. Like, why is the New Day here? Well, the New Day comes out to set up the video. The video then explains why the New Day's here, because he inspired them. And all the black athletes over the years. Completely makes sense. Absolutely cool. Then Scott Spear comes out. I think he said Thunderbolt Patterson's name about 87 times. And talking about his career. And then, apparently, for the first time in 31 years, Thunderbolt Patterson is going to make a public appearance. The reason we have to play the video for it is because he was in a wheelchair and they had to help him into the ring. Not a problem. Understandable. Completely get that. I'm not even saying problem. That happens all the time. Completely understandable. Well, he gets on the promo. He gets on there. And we all sat there for 20 minutes. And even the New Day was getting uncomfortable. because all it was him doing a 20-minute prayer and like he was in church. And we were 1 second from just saying hallelujah. This went on for 20 minutes. This went on for 20 minutes. I look at Andy. I'm like, I know I'm high. But what the fuck is he talking about?
Well, and then during his prayer, he throws in and how he and Gerald Briscoe became friends.
Oh, my part is, here's the best part. He didn't, though. That was Scott Spear. Scott Spear did all that. Thunderbolt Patterson did not mention wrestling in his entire thing. Who didn't mention it? Who mentioned it the entire time?
The only name that Thunderbolt Patterson basically mentioned was Gerald Briscoe. That was it.
Maybe. I don't even know if he said that. I didn't understand what he was saying most of the damn time.
He did. And I got my true girlfriend. I love him, Gerald Briscoe.
And here's the problem. The crowd, who, by the way, wanted Bull Meccano literally 20 minutes before this. They wanted her. Did not know what to do because he's an old man. He's an old black man. So literally, there's a whole bunch of people just sitting there, not knowing what to do. And nobody wanted to cut him off. Nobody wanted to cut him off. So it was so awkward. It was so
and even
awkward.
Even better, he comes up with his cane and he hooks his cane on to the
it was so uncomfortably awkward.
But as he's ranting, and I don't want to say
ranting is the best word for it. A perfect word for it.
As he's preaching,
ranting.
His top of his whole teeth almost comes out 3 times.
I forgot about that. I forgot his full teeth were coming out. I completely forgot about that. That was nuts.
God.
This is all live. This is live TV. This is all live. What you do about it? That was bizarre. But then I just have one more note, because this explains what was going on at WrestleMania. This part explains what happened at WrestleMania. So, Muhammad Ali went into the Hall of Fame, obviously. His widow accepted the induction. All makes sense.
Lonnie, yep.
For some reason, that we did not know at all, and apparently nobody told anybody else, she came out with a prop of her own. She had a championship.
She came out with what?
She came out with a prop of her own, with a championship belt. Apparently, nobody knew this. Nobody knew about this. I found this out later. Nobody knew about this until we were on the air live. That she had a championship belt that was for the People's Championship, because The Rock went to Muhammad Ali and asked for permission to do the People's Champion back in the 90s. So he went and had a championship belt made for The Rock. The problem is nobody told The Rock. Nobody told him. Because if you told him, he would have been more prepared. So awkwardly, The Rock now has to come out like about 15 minutes before he's supposed to do his grand final boss entrance to induct his grandma. He now has to come out awkwardly to accept this belt. It was so weird to watch live. It was so bizarre.
And how come she wasn't there at Mania when they did
that part? I don't know. That part I don't know. No one seems to know the answer to that question. People were asking the same question. No one seems to know the answer to that one. But that was awkward as fuck. It was so bizarre to watch. And that explains the championship belt. He came out at Mania. But nobody explained it when he did the entrance. Like until Monday night, no one really explained what it was. Like, so like that was weird. That was the Hall of Fame. Way too fucking long. Well, fast. WrestleCon Super Show. That was the show going on at the ECW Arena during the Hall of Fame, which ended like an hour before this. By the way, Ring of Honor. Didn't watch the show. Didn't watch Ring of Honor. Didn't pay for it. Didn't have a chance. Mark Briscoe is the Ring of Honor World Champion. Good for him. And he won it on the anniversary. He won it on the anniversary of Jay Briscoe's first title reign.
Wow. I didn't see that.
That was pretty cool. That was cool.
Yep.
The WrestleCon Super Show, it did a ECW Arena, 2200 Arena. It was pretty much a glorified ECW reunion show. At the end of the day, it was a glorified ECW reunion show. What it is, it was fun for what it was. Couple of little weird notes. They had a match, with the FBI versus you walked into the room down. What was it? Was Kishore? Who was it? You walked in because it was Savio Vega and somebody else. I forgot who it was.
It wasn't
room.
It wasn't Los Bariquas.
It was somebody else. I forgot what it was, but that was the match going on. Well, they had a female out with them. The Hispanics had a female out with them. So the FBI gets on the microphone. The FBI. Can you hear me now? There we go.
Yes.
All
Yes,
right,
like a
perfect.
Verizon commercial.
There we go. Sorry, my base, my portable microphone goes on to died. I had to plug it in. We're good now. We're good now. I didn't have to plug it back in. I remember that sometimes I just plug it in. Anyway, where was I? Oh, FBI. So the FBI is in the ring, and they need a female. And all of a sudden, Deanna Purrazzo comes out. Line with the FBI.
Okay.
To remind, and then I was like, oh, duh. She's a fucking attractive Jersey Italian. It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Of course it does. So, but that was not even the most bizarre thing that happened on this show. So the main event was a Philadelphia street fight. And it was Sami Callihan versus, and we've heard this about a month ago, Paul Walter Hauser. Again. The last time we heard from him, he had a match against Matt Cardona. So Emmy winner, Paul Walter Hauser, is in a street fight with Sami Callihan. This is not going to end well. Well, all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, I was watching this live, but there's no reason for this to happen. Bill Alfonso comes out. He was on the show earlier in the show. He comes out, he gets in the ring, and blows his whistle. That whistle then summoned the Sandman. The inner Sandman hits, and he does the full entrance coming out of the ramp. And then he gets down. I swear this happened. He gets down, goes to jump over the barricade like he was, and falls down. Falls down. There was a chair in the ring. Bill Alfonso then slid the chair over to Sandman to step and get into the ring. He then handed kendo stick to Paul Hauser to beat the hell out of Sami Callihan and pin him. This is how the show ended. This is how the show ended. So that was bizarre.
Yeah.
That was absolutely bizarre. Bizarre way to end that show. Okay. Next morning was NXT Stand and Deliver. I watched on delay, and Sal actually watched it live. Very proud of you, Sal. You watched NXT live. Very proud of you.
I did. Well, it was at a really good time, and I had nothing to do at work.
You know, you're working, and just so people know, he works from home on Saturdays. I want to clarify
I do.
that. Just for sake of, or you do work from home on Saturdays. So, I gotta say, I had a lot of fun. It was a good show. Like, I thought it was a really good NXT show. For someone who doesn't watch NXT, Sal, what did you think of the show?
Yeah, it was enjoyable. It didn't feel like a drag, that's for sure.
Definitely.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I do have a couple of notes. Oba Femi is a fucking beast. He's slowly turning into one of my favorite wrestlers on the show. Like, slowly but surely turning into one of my favorite wrestlers.
I was going to say, can the main roster already?
Like, he's only had 15 matches. The man's only had 15 matches. He's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. Like, that triple threat match was fantastic, though. That was a fantastic triple threat match. Good idea.
Yeah. But in result from that, I don't know if you do heard that Josh Briggs suffered 2 broken ribs.
Yes, that got announced on NXT.
Oh, wow.
He broke 2 ribs, but Dijak was fine, and he got to be on the show this week. But I love Dijak because Dijak's just fun on NXT. He's just fun. And then the other thing main event was Trick and Mello. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. I think it could have been a little. I think it could have. I think they're better than even the match is. I think the match even could have been better than it was, and they're going to get a rematch soon. I'll talk about it later. But like, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good main event, a really awesome match, especially when you realize that the world title match was fucking Dragunov and D'Angelo. So like, and then also Roxanne won the title, which Sal literally cringes at every time. And then I forgot to put this in my notes. Julia debuted, so that was exciting. That was really, really exciting. Sal, any thoughts on that stuff? Sal, any thoughts?
Oh, me?
Yes, you're the only Sal here.
Well, you call him Sore too.
Yeah, I'm so used to all the other names I get called. It was a good show. The main event was great. I felt like it should have been a little bit longer, maybe a little more dramatic.
I feel the same way. I thank you. That's what I was thinking too when watching. I was like, I feel like it ended really early, really quickly.
Yeah.
I don't know why, because the didn't have a lot of time. The didn't have a lot of time to do a long
Right.
match.
It was in the middle of the afternoon, so
Exactly. You had plenty of time. There was nothing else on the WWE schedule in WrestleMania. So, like, you had plenty of time. So, I don't know.
but
I
I
mean,
thought it was good.
with Roxanne winning the title, that's kind of solidifies her hero persona. But
Tell it to the NXT crowd and tell it to the NXT crowd at the Performance Center. But yeah,
I don't know where they're gonna go with this, but I don't think.
I don't think they do either. I'm not gonna lie. I'll get to that with NXT later. I don't think they do either. Honestly.
I mean, it just seemed like they kind of thought about the end like for 2 minutes, and that was it.
So, all right, two other things real fast. Progress Wrestling. I watched that chapter 186. Freedom Walks Again, part of the collective. One match I will note, and it's one of my favorite things I've seen in a while. It was Bussy, FB and Alley Catch versus Gene Money and Session Moth Martina. I wrote in my note here, might be the strangest and most fun matches I watched in ages. In fact, Session Moth Martina at one point was hugging her opponents. We had a swap of partners where it was supposed to be intergender, and the men started lining up on the same team against the women. Session Moth Martina at one point was at the bar. Like, it was crazy. The fuck is sorry, my bass here is acting up. And then me and Andy watched Effie Big Gay Brunch. Two notes from here. Although overall, really good show. I really enjoy it. I really love Effie shows. Two notes. Bussy, Effie and Alley Catch, again, Dirty Breeze, Tyler Breeze, and Dirty Dango. Stole the fucking show. A whole show. That match.
The whole Evan show?
A whole show. And it might have been one of the gayest things I've ever seen, but in the best fucking way possible. Like, it was so fucking awesome. So much fun. That is the definition of what this show is. What Big Gay Brunches are for. It's matches like that. Like, it was fucking great. And the main event was Dark Sheik versus Sunny Kiss. Which, when Effie was asked, why was that the main event and not you? He's like, I didn't feel like following it. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate your honesty.
Yes.
And then after that, me and Mandy watched the Slammy Awards. And if you want to watch something that's one of the most clusterfuck things that WWE put together in a long time, watch the Slammy Awards. It was one of the most clusterfuck hours I've seen them do in a while.
So it wasn't just me.
It was a full clusterfuck. It was. They explain how the setup was. They had it at the World as a live event show. If you're at the World, it came with your ticket. Part of your ticket. You can go to this event. And absolutely fine. They made it into a real award show with big stage and all this kind of stuff. The problem was the people that were winning the awards weren't there. Most of them weren't there because they either had a match the night before or they had a match on night 2. So they weren't there. Like Rhea Ripley wasn't there. Cody Rhodes wasn't there. Like, there were people there that won awards that obviously could not be there because they had things to do. So that was weird. For some reason, Fluffy was there. I don't know why he was there as a special guest, and he didn't know what the fuck was going on. Because the teleprompter, and the teleprompter, they weren't following it, even though they had it. So that was fun. So that was hysterical. Fluffy's trying to follow the teleprompter, and no one else is. So that was hysterical. And then my favorite part was Dominic Mysterio's comes out, and then they do Faction of the Year, and he just stays on the stage. To come out and accept for the Judgment Day, so we didn't have to go back. He just stayed there. But the highlight of the show, it's not even in my notes, but I just remembered. Oh, two things. R-Truth was there as a correspondent from the crowd who thought he was at the Oscars at one point. He thought he was at the Emmy Awards at one point. Like, he might have all these different award shows throughout. This is only an hour program. This is only an hour. So keep all that in mind. All of this going on for it. It's only an hour. And then highlight of the show. they announced Social Media Star of the Year. And Chelsea Green is nominated. So she comes out to accept the award. She didn't win the award. Drew McIntyre won the award. So he comes out to accept the award. So I didn't expect Drew to be there because no one else was there. I didn't expect Drew to be there. So Drew comes out. Despite being in the opening match tonight too, which surprised the hell out of me, he comes out and he accepts this award and he looks at Chelsea. He's like, "You touch my award, I'm going to get you escorted from the building." God damn. And then Chelsea stole the trophy, and that ended that segment. It was bizarre. I do say, if you want to see there's no way. If you ever want to see a sign that Vince McMahon is not in charge of WWE anymore, this hour of programming tells you that. This hour of programming, because this would have never been air if Vince was in charge of this company. There's no way.
For as much as they were hyping the Slammies are back, you would have thought or had forethought, say, if the winners are talent that's not
Cody
here,
won 4 awards. Rhea Ripley won 3 awards. Like, that was the problem. Like, the people that favorites were not there. Like, that's the problem. This whole thing.
So when you
Cody Rhodes doesn't care.
No, Cody Rhodes, to his credit, was hysterical in his videos. His videos were fucking hysterical.
Fuck Cody Rhodes.
His videos were fucking hysterical. Because, like, he would change angles for every award. Like, he was very, very funny. Like, he was hysterical. Because I think he realized how ridiculous this is that he's not going to be there accepting. So, like, every time we go to him in the other word, he'd change angles or change hands or, like, it was really funny. Like, he was actually very, very funny. But, yeah, it's definitely a clusterfuck. And like I said, if you want to have some, if you have a sense of humor and you realize that they were goofing around, go watch this. It was fun. It was definitely a lot of fun. All right, Mania. Here's what we're going to do this. We're going to go through the top 5 things, and then we're going to get to the superlatives. First of all, come on, we all know what the first thing is. Folks, before we get to the matches, let's discuss this. So this is the biggest topic of the weekend besides the championship change.
Let me hang on before we go into this. Okay. The opening.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that in a second. Actually, but
okay.
That was part of the second note. But first things first, how do we feel about the Paul Levesque era?
Personally, I think it is a welcome change, and it's about damn time.
But now the joke all podcast. Thank you, Sal. Now the joke on all podcasts.
I got fireworks.
You got fireworks again? Yay! Did you know? There it is.
Just on my shirt, though.
It's so funny though. I like it. But anyway, so the funny part of did you know there's a new era? Did you hear there's a new era? I didn't know. Did you know there's a new era right now in WWE? There's a new era.
They're really erasing Vinnie Mac, aren't
they? They may have said that 1 or 17,000 times. But I don't know. I said it to Sal during the pre-show on night 1. I'm like, I didn't just feel different tonight. Like, we watch Mania every year together. We text each other every year on Mania. And I'm watching the pre-show. I'm like, I didn't just feel so different. Like, it just feels different in a good way, in a really, really good way, in a positive way. It just felt so different going into the show. Like, I was so excited for the first time in years. Like, this is something different. And the pre-show is fantastic. So I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is going on here? So, and then Dad said it. We start the show with a brand new opening. As people are calling it the MCU version of the WWE opening. And Triple H doing the narration.
Do I hear that he's doing it now, not John Cena?
It is his voice. That's totally
it is
narration. But by the way, if you want to hear, and so I was listening to everything with Rich Fan this morning, was working, and Rich sat and broke it down to the intro because it's what he does.
Right.
And it's interesting when you break it down how many wrestlers they fit into this opening. They fit so many wrestlers from different generations into this opening. It's really cool. Just sit down and watch it in slow motion. How many people are in this? It's actually pretty awesome. You know what I mean? It's actually really
if you can recognize them, like their silhouettes and everything.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Like how many people are in there. And it's well done. Like, well done, guys, on this one. Yep. I didn't expect it. It was a nice surprise to open up on Thursday night 1. So let's get to the highlights, the big highlights before we get to superlatives. We'll start it. We have to start here because it was the biggest thing that happened all weekend. Cody Rhodes is your new WWE champion. They've dropped Universal. They've dropped the Universal. Officially.
Fuck Cody Rhodes.
The interesting part is they announced officially that they have retired the Universal Championship. So officially, the founding champion is Roman Reigns. Officially, Cody Rhodes is now the WWE champion, and that's a big deal. They obviously don't want to ruin the WWE legitimacy. That's more important. You know what I mean? It's more important to get that going. You know, so that's a big deal. So I'm not gonna lie, and we'll talk about this as the prelims. We kind of didn't like night one main event. I was bored. I got bored. I'm not gonna bullshit you. I got bored. It was so long.
You know why you were bored? Because we all knew what was going to happen.
That could be it. That could be exactly what it was. But then night two, that main event was half the time, and it was half the time.
Oh,
main event of night one was 48 minutes. The main event night two was 25.
They should have flip-flopped that one.
I know, like it was crazy. They fit all that craziness in the 25 minutes. They fit all of that in the 25 minutes.
Okay.
From bell to bell, it was 25 minutes. So crazy. Okay. This is why I felt so fast, because the show was over, and we had plenty of time to kill. That's why I was so early. So the match was so much shorter than we expected. But what do you think, guys? I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought the main event was great. I really thought it was fun. For those who didn't, for some reason, are under a rock and listened to the show and didn't see the main event of WrestleMania.
No pun intended.
Well, I didn't think about it when I said it, but in order of events, we had Jey Uso come out first, and then Jimmy. Jimmy came out first, and then Jey took out Jimmy. And then Solo came out, and John Cena took out Solo to a table. And then The Rock came out to confront John Cena, which the crowd went absolutely fucking bananas. I can't even blame them, because that was a pretty damn cool moment. I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty damn cool moment. And then The Rock took out Cena with one move, which made me laugh. I'm not gonna lie. It made me laugh really hard. And then everyone was expecting Stone Cold. I was expecting Stone Cold.
That's what I was expecting too.
And then the gong hit, and here comes Taker. He appears in the ring. Apparently, he was under the ring the entire match. And he appears in the ring. And he gets in the ring, hit the choke slam, and then disappears. And then disappears. Which made me laugh.
As you do.
And then I forgot one thing. The Shield music hit.
Yes.
And everyone was confused. By the way, the camera guy, as much as I compliment the camera work and WWE lately, compliment him galore. I love the camera tricks they're doing lately. How did you miss the Shield entrance? How did you miss that? Like, how do you mess that up?
They kept on cutting back to a little bit of the audience, and then went back to the main ramp.
But they didn't go to the crowd. They didn't follow. They didn't find Seth in the crowd, which made no sense. You know what I mean?
And then as Seth gets in, he's wearing his Shield outfit.
That was the important part. That's the important part of the story here.
Yeah.
He gets in the ring with that, and he gets in the ring and gets knocked out by Roman, and that's when Taker came out. So then they disappear. And the only ones left in the ring at this point are Roman, Seth, and Cody, and the weight belt that Cody was wearing. So he uses so Roman grabs the weight belt, and he has the chair in the ring. And instead of going after Cody, he goes after Seth. And finally gets to him in the back of the chair since the Shield breakup.
Long-term storytelling.
That is long-term storyline. Actually, and we'll get to Raw. There is actually a longer-term storyline that they threw in here. I'll talk about when we get to Raw. I found this one out last night on TikTok. But I'll talk about when we get there. But they did that, and that distracted Roman enough where Cody was able to counter the spear into 3 crossroads. And to the bewilderment of the entire crowd, they did not actually believe that. I think the crowd was like, we know what's going to happen, but until that third pinfall hits, they're not going to believe it. One of those things, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're like when you watch a sporty event and you watch the clock go down, you're not going to believe they win the championship until that timer runs out. That's what it felt like to me. So that third hits, the crowd goes berserk. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to spread it to you guys in a second. When this happened, I kind of sat there in shock that they actually did it. But they actually did it. I was sitting there. You got Mandy. Because I was at that, but he wasn't in the room with us. I'll get that in a second. But I was sitting there and I literally sat at the screen like, holy fuck, Cody won! Holy fuck, Cody actually won! I was stunned. Sal, your reaction. I know how you feel,
Fuck Cody Rhodes.
but your reaction to the match and the ending.
So it was one of those main events where literally could have gone either way, but you kind of knew the direction that it was going to go towards. But there was always that 10% chance that they were just going to, flip it and keep going. Leading into that, okay, they lost the first main event on night one. Okay, the odds are stacked against Cody Rhodes. Here we go. Here's that feel-good moment. He's going to defy all the odds.
Rhodes.
Win. Thank you very much. Then the match happens. The shenanigans start. The people start coming out to help Cody. Once that happened, I was like, okay, they're not going to be bringing out, John Cena and the Undertaker for him to lose. You know what I mean? So it felt kind of obvious to me. But like you said, it's been so long that the thought of that title not being around Roman Reigns' waist is fucking weird.
It is. It's so weird. I agree with you. I 100% agree with you.
It was kind of like, and 10 years ago, it brought me back to that feeling 10 years ago when we were sitting in your living room and the Undertaker lost for the first time, and I had that I don't know what life is anymore feeling. That's kind of like the feeling I had because again, for 4 years,
about 4 years,
he's been the champ. You know what I mean? So and now he's not. Whoa, weird.
It is weird.
Honestly, a good weird.
No, it's great. Actually, who sold it best for me? I don't know if anyone caught it. I watched the replay. Paul Heyman on the outside, his facial expressions were amazing because you watch his face. You have to watch his face, watching the clip back. Just keep your eye on Paul. Because I didn't catch this obviously live because I'm watching the pinfall. If you watch Paul, you watch Paul in the background, his facial expression gets more distressed as each crossroads gets hit. And you get that third crossroads. You get the third crossroads, like, no. You can hear him yelling in the background. No.
Did you see that fan video of them on the ramp?
Yeah, so he hit the third crossroads, and then you can see Paul in the background just despondent. Just despondent in the background. But did you see the picture of Roman smiling?
Yeah.
The picture of Roman smiling on the third ball? Like, okay, good for Roman. That was a very cool moment. That's a really cool moment. I'll throw it to you. Go. Dad, I'll throw it to you. Go. Dad, I'll throw it to you. Go. Dad. You're the only one that didn't say anything yet. Go.
I think it was amazing. I mean, everything he put together and how it kind of flowed, the match flowed really well. And for how many times Cody kicked out of the Superman punch and the Samoan slam and everything else that Roman had. And
I think also the spike into the spear from Solo Roman, that was the moment too. I was like, that was one that got me. I was like, oh my God.
And then Cody did the disaster kick a couple times and have an effect, and then some crossroads, and then went back and forth. And as the match was flowing, and hell, like Sal said, well, are they going to put the belt on him or not? I mean, how many times were they going to put the belt on Cody, and all of a sudden things changed at the last minute, and you're wondering whether or not they're going to pull the trigger. And then when he did, it was kind of like, for 1 minute, you were kind of in shock that Roman didn't have the belt. And then after that, you were elated that Cody got to finish the story.
Yeah.
And then how he basically became very emotional.
That celebration was great.
Right. And how
old school.
He talked about Dad, and now he brought home the belt. And
I will say one thing. I would have been happy if they just ended it with him handing the belt to his mom and then lifting him on his shoulders. I don't think he had to call Triple H and Bruce Pitcher out there. I don't think he needed to do that. I think he could have ended it with his mom holding the belt and him being on like Randy and KO's shoulders, and then we would have went off the air. I think it was one step too far to bring Triple H and Bruce Pitcher out. That was one step too far.
It's kind of like when Cody did that you went and basically entered or skipped over the velvet rope because you brought the people back that were backstage, doing the scenes and everything to the forefront. And I think that's why there was a hesitation when Bruce and Triple H came out, because he went across that velvet rope, and it's kind of like, you don't basically have people from the back come out to the
Do
front.
that moment. It was a weird moment.
Right.
I will give one person props, and we got to move on to other things. I know Sal's not a fan of this person. I know he's not. But I was caught up in the moment when Samantha Irving got on the mic and she's in tears making the announcement for Cody. And I'm like, oh my
How
God.
unprofessional, by the way.
I
How
loved it.
unprofessional. You can't even do your job correctly.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Oh, that was
She
such
was
a real moment.
completely unprofessional. She
It's a
should be
real moment.
fired.
It's a real moment. Yeah, get her fired. She literally got praised by who did she praised by the next day? What's his name? But there's going to Rumble. I can't think of his name right now.
It doesn't matter what
Help
his
me.
name
Help,
is.
no, bro, help me here. How many names
Nick
here?
Aldis?
No, let's get rid of Rumble.
Give me a second.
Announcer.
David Arquette?
No.
No.
Announcer. Ring announcer. Famous. The most very, very famous. I can't think of his name. Buffer.
Michael Buffer?
Michael Buffer.
Michael Buffer?
Praised her. He praised her up and down all over over social media. The next
What
morning.
does he know? He worked for WCW.
Okay. But I loved it. I thought that was fantastic. And then Michael Cole, just like emotional as hell. I thought it was great. Doing Michael Cole be real.
Yeah,
that was great.
Where
Like,
Cody
I thought it was fantastic.
Cody came down and he gave Cole
I mean, even before he did that, Cole narrating everything, and then going and saying that this was pro wrestling at its absolute best. I'm like, holy shit, he just said pro wrestling at its absolute best. I'm like, yay, they're wrestling back. Their actual word is back. Like, I'm so happy.
It's been back. They've been saying it forever.
I know, but it's different in the main event of WrestleMania when the voice of pro wrestling, the voice of WWE goes and says pro wrestling is at its finest right now. And I'm like, holy shit. What a great moment. Like, yay.
When Vince was in charge, it was always sports entertainment.
And it sounds like they're going to be fading that phrase completely out soon.
It is. I read
that yesterday. I'm like, they're phasing that word out completely now, which I'm happy about.
Yep. Yeah, as it's put, pro wrestling is no longer a dirty word.
Exactly. Moving on. Speaking of long reigns that ended at WrestleMania, let's go back to night one, where Gunther, after 666 days, who held out that was going to end it there, but whatever. After 666 days, lost to Sami Zayn when Sami Zayn channeled the legendary, the great, rest in peace, El Generico, and did the fiery by the way, so he does that whole jump bouncing around the ring thing. And I look at it and I'm like, holy fuck, I know exactly what happened. And CJ's freaking out, man, he's so confused. He's so confused what's happening. I know what's gonna happen. CJ knows what's gonna happen. I'm freaking out because I know exactly what's about to happen. He hit that brainbuster, and I'm like, holy fuck, he did not just do that. And then he hits the Aluba kick a couple of times and pins him there. I'm like, holy shit, what just happened? I was going fucking crazy when he hit that brainbuster because I did not see that coming at all. But for those who don't know, that is how El Generico would end matches. With him going crazy in the ring, spasming out, getting the crowd pumped up, and hitting that brainbuster, and that would be his finisher. That's how matches would end. That's why I was going crazy. I'm like, I know what's going to happen. So Sami Zayn won. Sal, your thoughts?
I was not expecting that. I thought they would have had Gunther keep it a little bit longer.
I think you're the only one that picked Gunther last week. You're the only one.
I think I was, yeah.
Yeah, and you weren't even here when we were doing the pitch. You had to run and come back during all that.
So I was a little surprised by that. I thought, honestly, he was going to keep it a little bit longer. It was, the biggest WrestleMania of the year. They've been building him up for so long between his 2 title reigns at NXT. What was that percentage that you sent me? He's been champion for 80% of his tenure or something like that.
I'll get the graphic. Give me a second. I'll find it out fast.
Yeah, so I really honestly thought that they were going to let him retain, shenanigans or no shenanigans, and then down the line, maybe at SummerSlam, that would have been like the perfect setup for a co-main event for SummerSlam or whatever.
Okay, here it is. So since he joined WWE, and it includes NXT UK, he's been in WWE for 1,915 days total. He was NXT UK champion for 870 days. He was Intercontinental champion for 666 days. So that means he had a championship in the company for 1536. That's 80% of his time in WWE. He's held some kind of a championship.
Wow.
That's
That is
nuts.
ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous. Dad, your thoughts?
I think, like everyone shouted in the crowd, you deserve it. And he does deserve it. He's been consistent. He's been with different storylines. He's been up and down. And I think this is their way of saying, thank you for sticking with us. Thank you for putting up with everything that we've thrown at you. Thank you. And this is your reward for being such a good talent with our organization. And I think it's not only where to deserve it, but it's about time. The last time he had a belt was with KO when they were tag champions.
But you know what? Can I say something about that?
Go ahead.
Sami Zayn was involved in 2 mega reigns ending, 2 historic long reigns ending at WrestleMania. Because he ended the longest running tag team title run and then ended the longest running of the championship run. And back to back. I mean, that's crazy when you think about that, right? That's pretty crazy.
Yep.
That's something to put on your resume. So that's pretty cool.
So I mean, like I said, he deserves it. And I'm hoping that the powers that be in the storylines go that he has the belt for a while, not just for a month and say, oh, great, we're going to change it.
I think he's going to have a few months. It looks like he's entering a few with Chad Gable, which is going to be fun. And there's other things going on. I expect a rematch with Gunther down the road. I expect things, but I have a weird feeling if he's going to lose it, he's going to lose to someone like Bronson Reed or someone like that. I don't think he's going to, I think it's going to be someone not like, somebody new. Someone new is going to win this belt from Sami, which is going to be nice. It's going to be a nice change of pace. You know what I mean? I think I have a feeling. That's my gut feeling. All right. Let's move on. I had to put this on in the top 5.
Of course.
I had to. I'm wearing the shirt. Had to. So, co-main event. It was the semi-main on night 2. By the way, if you want me to explain Bayley's entrance, I can't. I have no idea what that was about, but whatever. I was happy to see her get a cool entrance. I have zero clue what the pyramid thing was about. No idea. Anyway, it comes down to the match. CJ has never seen me completely mark out at home watching a match. He's never seen me do it. Seen me get into matches, screaming out the TV, but has never seen me mark out. Like completely. The only time he's ever seen me mark out in person was when Okada came out at AEW. I've told that story 1,000 times. That's the only time he's ever seen me really mark out as a fan. I was so invested in this match. I was so invested, and I was so into it that when she hit she hit the Rose Plant and went and hit the pinfall, I literally jumped out of my chair. Jumped out and celebrated and just sat back down. And he was like, what the hell just happened? What just happened? I was so fucking happy. I was so damn happy that she won. I was like ecstatic. The one moment though, and I was texting you, and I went and like the minute the crowd started singing again, and it's been such a long time since we've heard the Bayley song. It's been such a long time. And I'm like, the minute the crowd started singing, I'm like, I feel something. I have a feeling they're going to do this. They're actually going to do this for real. So I'm like, this is when my anticipation's like, okay, they're going to put the belt on her. They're going to do this right. And then the pinfall happened, and I lost it. I completely lost it. I was so damn happy. Sal, your thoughts?
It was very well done. Very well done match. Very well laid out. Entertaining.
Yes.
I tried not texting you because I knew it was important for you to watch.
Oh, thank you for reminding me of something. So match is happening. My phone was pretty quiet. I'm talking to a few people as the show goes on. You obviously understood the assignment. Leave me alone during this match. My friend John understood the assignment. Leave me alone during this match. Another friend of mine understood the assignment. Then I have another friend, good friend of mine, starts texting me during this match. Asking me like big picture questions. I literally had to stop. I'm like, do you realize what match is on? Like, do you realize what match is going on right now? Like, can we do this later? Can we have it conversation later, please?
So, would you call him Senor Dumbass?
A little bit. No, I would never do that to him. I would never insult him like that. He's a real good friend of mine. But I was
Okay.
like, come on, do we have this conversation later, please? Can we do this later? Oh my god. But yeah, Cecile, you did let me enjoy the moment. You really did, and I appreciate it. By the way, I did just pull this out of the archives real fast. You probably didn't hear it over the Zoom call, but it was the Bayley song. I actually have it from an NXT show.
Okay.
At an NXT show. Let me see if I can do that. Anyway, Dad, your thoughts?
The whole Egyptian entrance kind of threw me.
That was weird. Admittedly weird.
Not
Not coming from me. Not coming from me.
I didn't know where it was kind of leading up to, but it
Excuse to get half stage.
What was that?
but
It was an excuse to get
it started the
stage.
match off with a bang, and it did not disappoint. And yeah, you got to give it to your girl Bayley.
My girl.
She came up and she was up for the task, and she won. And I'm hoping that now with this new era that she's going to have some great matches and continue to hang on to the belt.
Mm-hmm. I hope that this face character seems to work. It's not the old Hugger Bayley. It's not the Ding Dong Hello Bayley. There is a new edgier character that I know is coming, and it feels right. I can't even explain it. It just feels right. And it's probably why I got so into it, because it was a different Bayley, the different person, and it was nice.
It's kind of like the way they explain it is when you had the Bayley in NXT, you had the 4 horsewomen, they were still young and they didn't
the Hugger
mature.
Bayley. Hugger Bayley.
Right.
Hugger Bayley.
Right. They didn't mature. Now this is a more mature Bayley.
Someone who's been through shit. Someone who's been through shit. And
So
I like it.
Right. So now she's been there, done that, and now she wants to basically start a future on this mature Bayley character.
Although I do want to give credit to her, because on her Twitter page, she's still calling her fans her what she called herself, but she used a negative thing, and she returned it face now, and it works really well. I love it. And I mean, like, she didn't change herself, even in the social media world. Like, it works so well. Oh, sheep. She called her fans sheep, and now she calls her my sheep. Like, it's just, she just added one word and changed it, and it works really well. Like, it works so well.
It's kind of like in the press conference how she basically said, I know I called my fans idiot, and I apologize for that. And I
exactly. Like, it's perfect. That's all you gotta do. Apologize to your fans, and we're good. No one's gonna be mad anymore. We're good. Okay, moving on. One more thing. Opening the show. We have to talk about this because this is a crazy start to the show. Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins. Well, first, can I say, I did not expect them to do CM Punk's entrance on the pre-show. I did not expect that. That was a big surprise. But we're watching the pre-show. All of a sudden, CM Punk's walking through the ring. I'm like, oh, I guess his entrance isn't going to be on Mania this year. That was a surprise. Okay, that's number one. I was like, okay, that's an interesting move. He's already at the announce table when the show starts. And he's at the announce table. Drew comes out, loved the entrance. Seth comes out, no idea what the hell is going on, but I enjoyed it anyway. What the fuck is going on? Mandy said it was like the upgraded Rosebuds. Which is very funny.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very funny. So then we have the match, and it was Seth losing the World Heavyweight Championship to Drew McIntyre. I'm like, everyone saw that coming. Very cool. He deserved to have this reign in front of the crowd. He celebrated for the crowd. Seth walks away crying. It was a really cool moment. I thought that was well done. It was like the agony of defeat, the champion in the ring. Like, I thought that was well. There was one camera shot where you just saw Drew with this massive grin on his face holding the belt, and in the background is Seth, miserable. I'm like, that is a great camera shot. You can use that forever.
And then how
Drew
went to his wife and
that was awesome.
The belt.
He got his celebration in front of a crowd. As Mandy said it, he got his celebration finally, and then he has to go then concentrate on Punk some more, and he's got to get in Punk's face some more. And Punk finally reacted and took off the brace. And CJ asked me, he's like, is his arm peeled? I'm like, notice he took the brace off, but he used his other hand to hit him.
Yep.
So like important detail, very important detail. And he hit and I looked at Manny, I'm like, before this all went down, before he even get to Punk, I'm like, is Damian Priest coming out just randomly? No hints, no nothing, not even anything. I'm like, is Damian Priest gonna come out and cash in just randomly? And all of a sudden, Punk attacked him. Like, Damian Priest coming out. All of a sudden, the music. I'm like, oh shit, I was right. I just called that. While we're watching the show live. I called that. He comes out. He hits Drew in the middle of the ring, hits finisher and
Razor's Edge.
Thank you. And then he hits it and it's over. Pins him 1, 2, 3. Drew's been champion for 5 minutes. And now Damian Priest is the World Heavyweight Champion. And CM Punk is sitting cross-eyed on the announce table, smiling ear to ear. What a crazy start tonight, too.
Well,
Dad, you start. You want to start? Go start.
During that match, when there was a lull time, if you want to call it that, and Drew's kind of jibber-jawing with CM Punk, and basically Punk even said, instead of focus on me, you should focus on your opponent. And then as he does that, Punk comes around and sweeps his legs and knocks him off.
By the way, and this is very funny, but during the entrance, Seth's entrance, apparently Drew went up to his gripe and grabbed her phone and took a selfie, and they put it up on Twitter during Seth's entrance, and his caption was bored at work. Absolutely hysterical. Absolutely hysterical. So cash-in happens. Sal, your thoughts on this whole thing? It's all bizarreness that opened up WrestleMania night 2.
Funny. I'm glad that we got the cash in finally, because at this point I thought that fucking case was going to expire.
It's only a couple of months till they're putting in the bank, so it's only a couple months away. So
yeah, we'll see what the plans are. Because now we have 2 champions on one show, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna milk what's his face for everything he's got and keep him on both shows.
Till the draft. Till the draft.
Yeah, till the draft. Yeah.
So this brings up a question, which is this: do you guys believe there will be infighting within the faction?
Judgment Day? Not right now. Not yet. They were teasing it with the whole Andrade thing, and then they scrapped it. So I have a feeling they're not breaking up yet. I think they're having too much fun with this faction. I think they're having way too much fun.
Right.
And especially because they got to do that promo with Drew, with Damian and Mommy holding the belts together.
Yeah.
The Terror Twins. And
I mean, if it does happen, I think the first that's going to do it would be Finn.
So, okay, real fast. Sal's been asking this for a year. Sal's been asking for this for a year.
Actually, it's been longer than that.
I'm just saying you've been having it Mania all the way before that. I mean, but it's still Mania. Once Mania happened and they had the title change, you've been asking for it since then.
Oh, true.
You were waiting for once Sami and KO won the titles at Mania last year. You've been saying, when are they breaking them up? When are you breaking them up? When are you breaking them up? Well, it finally happened. We have 2 sets of tag champs again in the 6-way ladder match, and we were so close. We were all so close. We all were. Awesome Truth. Our Truth and the Miz are now the Raw Tag Team Champions. And apparently Truth thinks he brought the belts back to Judgment Day. That was weird. And Austin Theory and Grayson Waller won the tag titles, and nobody cared. For SmackDown.
Indeed.
That was hilarious. They called the belts. CJ's like, fuck no. You should hold up the TV. What happened? Yes, that happened. Any thoughts, Sal?
I'm happy Awesome Truth won. I just would have liked if Truth didn't show up on Monday and showed up on Friday. That would have been kind of funny.
We got time. I'll let you know. Got any quick thoughts on this?
But other than that, it was good. It was a good match.
I think who was that? They got thrown on a ladder and it didn't bend. Was that
There's a
Grayson
lot of that
Waller?
there's a lot of that going on in this match. There's a lot of that.
But I mean, it's like for some reason when you threw your opponent, the ladder didn't bend. It was still stiff. When you try to use it like as a ramp or something, it's just that you could tell that for some reason the ladders didn't want to give. Neither did the tables that particular night for some reason. They were well constructed for some odd reason. I don't know why,
I don't know why. All right.
but it was kind of amusing in a sense.
Well, okay. Let's get to the WrestleMania superlatives. We have some things that we did this last year. Where this is our way of wrapping up WrestleMania. We just have superlatives to go through things. I have a bunch of notes. We'll go around real fast, and you tell us your answers. Best entrance. Sal, I'll start with you. What's best entrance of the weekend?
Oh, you have to give it to Rhea Ripley.
Live band.
The live band. I'm glad I'm not the only one that thought this, because when they showed that first shot of the, I'm like, why is Rhea Ripley singing her own song? And
I
swear to
know
God,
exactly the
it sounds
same. It was weird. It was so weird.
But it brought that energy that I don't think was needed per se, but it was nice to have that energy there.
Dad. Best entrance.
I'm
Both have these
going
notes
to.
for you.
Everyone's gonna think I'm gonna state the obvious, but I'm not. I'm gonna go with the entrance for DIY.
Okay. Actually, Mandy.
That was funny.
You want to have Mandy marking out about something? They're coming out to the DX thing. Mandy was dying. She was having so much fun with that. So much fun. I do have that down. I actually, the one thing, I love the simpler entrances throughout the night too, but I personally loved Jade, Bianca, and Naomi. When they come down from that platform thing, and then they got their individual entrances. I love that. It was so simple to the point, but I loved it because it looked so fucking great up there. There's three badass black women just doing this entrance. Like, it was so cool. It's a really cool thing. Let's see if we all have matches of the weekend the same. Sal? That's match.
Night 2, Cody, Roman.
Oh, okay. We're different because I have Gunther, Sami.
Oh,
My match of the weekend, and that was phenomenal. Like, I really enjoyed the wrestling match. That was a phenomenal match. So, on that.
interesting.
I'm going to go with night 2, Cody and Roman also.
Okay, fair enough. It's all good. That was number 2 for me. But like, as a wrestling fan, I really, maybe because I'm also a massive Sami Zayn fan. That has nothing to do with it. Like, I'm such a massive Sami fan. So like, worst match. I'm really interested in how this one goes. Sal?
So this is kind of hard to choose because I
Wasn't
thought
for me.
the
It
entire
wasn't for
card.
me. It wasn't for me.
Oh, really? I put down the 6-man Philly street fight.
Okay, fair enough. I have that down for something else.
A little bored. Okay, I was a little bored with it. It felt it just didn't fit, and it wasn't very Philly street fighty, if that makes sense to me.
What, having Bully Ray out there wasn't enough for you?
No, he just kind of stood. By
the way,
the glasses though, I did freak out for the glasses.
By the way, I didn't think about. Did they refer to him as Bubba Ray Dudley or Bully Ray?
Bubba Ray.
Bubba Ray.
I wasn't paying attention because I was too busy. Like, oh shit, it's Bully Ray. I didn't hear what they said.
Bubba Ray, ECW.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That
I gotta go with the same thing. The Pride and the Final Testament. I'm sorry. I thought it could have been done better. If you're gonna basically say a Philly street fight,
it wasn't a terrible match though. It was just I expected more.
Where are the garbage cans? Where are the stop signs? Where are
I had the opposite reaction to that match because I had no expectations. I had no expectations going into that match. I had 0. So like, it had to be higher than that. It had to be higher than that for me. That's why it wasn't the worst because I had no expectations going in. The match I have down for worst is the Uso match. I was so disappointed by this match.
I see.
Oh my god, I was so disappointed.
Your point.
Yeah.
Did you think it went on too long?
Actually, I don't think it went on long enough. I think it was just bad. It didn't have chemistry. It didn't work. And then the match ended after one finisher. I'm like, that's it? We're done? We're done? Really?
The crowd was into it and they were more into it with
problem is they were not into the match. No, they weren't into the match. They were into heating. They weren't into the match. That's the difference. That was the problem. They weren't into the match itself.
Was that the time when someone basically introduced the volleyball into the crowd?
I think that was that match too. I think that was that match when the baseball came out. When baseball came out. So that was that. Okay. Best surprise, biggest surprise of the weekend, Sal.
Ooh, I got one.
Put down the Undertaker coming out because that was completely unexpected, and he's retired, so you just assume that he's just never going to show up anymore.
So, by the way, somebody gave a no prize explanation for that. No prize explanation to hit that, and The Rock's reaction. That the Undertaker has always been the final boss of WWE. He's always been that guy, like Teddy Long. It's a fucking bit. It's a bit with him.
Yeah. Oh, true. Okay.
Vicky Guerrero, Vince McMahon. Everyone always went to Taker for something. If you needed something happen, you went to Taker. So Cody called in his own final boss. Deal with the final boss. Fantastic no prize answer for that. I love that one. That was a great explanation. So that.
The biggest surprise was Stephanie McMahon coming out, opening up night 2.
No, that too.
That was a big
That too.
surprise. I didn't expect that. That was the only McMahon representation, and then she praises her husband. I'm like, well played, well done, absolutely well done. Although you didn't see the press conference, Sal, but Paula back at the press conference saying, "Didn't my wife look good? Didn't she look good?"
Yeah, and he goes, "She looked hot."
Yeah, he says this, and then he's like, "I'm going to say what I'm thinking," and then he stops like, "I really should not say what I'm thinking right now." That was a great husband moment.
Good point, because I thought we were never going to hear that last name ever again.
That was a great surprise. That was an awesome.
So yeah.
So I have that down. I actually have Stephanie down too, because that was a big shock. I'm like, wait, Stephanie McMahon's here? Awesome. That's really cool. A really cool moment.
But you know what it was too? She was at the Hall of Fame too. Maybe if she wasn't at the Hall of Fame, it would have been more of a shock.
Yeah, I didn't see her. I saw her at the Hall of Fame, but I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? I didn't think she was gonna come out. I didn't think she was coming out.
I kind of figured when she was at the Hall of Fame that she was there because of Hunter or Paul, and that was going to be it. We weren't going to see anything else of her for the rest of WrestleMania.
By the way, it's going to take a long time to get used to calling him Paul. It's going to take a long time. It really is. Biggest disappointment of the weekend. I'm not going to lie. I'll go first here because it's the only thing I can think of. Was that main event at night 1 going so fucking long? Oh my god, that was too fucking long for me. Sal?
I put the main event of night 1 because not only was it super long, but it's just, again, the whole Rock thing didn't fit. I don't know how to explain it. It just, they came in with one purpose. It backfired miserably. They had to do something with them because I'm sure they paid them for it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
So
I gotta watch
something with them.
I gotta watch that YouTube documentary drop today about that. There's a YouTube documentary today.
Oh yeah.
About that.
Yeah.
I got home and we did this. Literally, got home, had lunch, and we got on the show. So I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So anyway,
it was just so disappointing, and unnecessary. I feel like they could have done something a little better. I don't know, maybe because that stupid stipulation was on the line and everyone knew that they were going to win because, you wanted to have Cody have the odds stacked against him kind of a deal.
Like we talked about earlier, yeah. Like we talked about earlier. So, Dad?
I think to me the most disappointing moment that I felt was when AJ Styles defeated LA Knight.
LA Knight won that match.
Oh, I thought AJ did.
LA Knight won that match.
Did he? Wait a minute.
LA Knight won that match.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Oh yeah, he did. Because I remember saying, "Oh, we got new theme music."
Yeah,
okay.
we didn't get to hear it. We didn't get to hear it on the outro because LA Knight won that match.
Okay. All right.
You want to disagree with us in the main event to move on? Or disagree with us?
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
All right. I want to see the end of this one. Funniest moment of the night. I have to. So I want to see who picks front. Sal, go.
I picked Drew McIntyre's 5-minute reign.
Oh, not even what I wrote down. I have 2 other ones. I have 2 other answers. Bad good.
Actually, it was Drew McIntyre's 5-minute and 46-second drop.
That's true. That's even better. Even better.
As champion.
Still longer than Aaron Rodgers' career at the Jets last year.
Oh, you went there.
There was a meme
It's
that went up
true.
yesterday. There was a meme yesterday about that. Anyway,
It's true.
You went there.
Funniest
Ouch.
moment.
Yeah, it's got to be Drew McIntyre's reign. It's got to be only because there was so much emotion into it, and all of a sudden,
Well,
slam.
he talks so much shit too, and it's like all that shit talking for nothing.
Yeah.
I have two then. I have two. R-Truth hot tag in the middle of a ladder match. Cracked
Oh,
me.
that was funny.
That's
Oh
the funny thing
yeah.
I've seen in a long time. And KO driving Randy Orton to the ring. And Orton holding on for dear life.
Oh.
At the end of the ring. I was
Yeah.
dying. I'm like, that was amazing. So, the what the fuck moment of the weekend. I'm going to go first because I have an obvious one. What the fuck was Jason Kelsey doing there?
That was mine too.
Jason Kelsey. Like,
I mean,
what
I
the
get
fuck?
it because
I
of the
like. I
because of the
actually like
fucking.
Jason Kelsey, the person. I get it. I understand why he was there. And you go, oh, why the fuck did he interfere? I helped Ray. It made no sense.
Right,
It made no sense at all.
right. I thought the same thing too. It's like, yeah, I get it. He's got to be there because it's the Eagle Stadium and blah blah blah.
The Kelsey
But
brothers, the Kelseys are popular right now.
right,
Yeah,
but like, why? Like, just show him in the crowd drinking a beer with his shirt off, like he likes to do. Like, why did
exactly. That
he
would have been fine.
need to
That
get
would have been absolutely
involved?
fine. Oh man. That
I think my what the fuck moment is The Rock coming up was that night one
the fire.
with his no, that would have been night two.
Right, one with the fire.
With,
Night one with
he
the
was
fire.
he was challenged. It looked like he was trying to imitate like a Elvis type of character with
That was
his
all night one. That
clothing.
was all night one. That was all night one.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
crazy. That was weird.
I didn't quite get, that little outfit he was wearing where, the high tied collar and everything. And I was about ready for him to go into a rock concert, son of a bitch.
I will say the other thing I had down was what the fuck was Snoop Dogg talking about during his commentary? What the blue hell was going on? Because he was stoned. He may have been drunk. I have no idea what was going on. He's pimping his freaking, he's pimping his alcohol.
Gin and juice.
He's talking about tables that aren't breaking. He's just yelling random things. It was almost as bad as Ted Sunil last year. It was so weird. Like, that was bizarre. I don't know why he was there. I don't know why he was out there. Like,
I don't know if you would consider this what the fuck moment, but I'm going to go with something. How about
go for it.
something different? And the different is every match had a sponsor.
You know what? That's crazy. I'm agreeing. That was weird. But at the same time, by the end of night two, it didn't even bother me anymore. Like, it was just kind of there. I didn't even phase me anymore, man, the night two.
It was like someone.
You know what? It was like watching UFC or watching football or watching any other sport. Well, there's sponsors. We deal with watching hockey all the damn time. There's sponsors everywhere.
Someone mentioned that the only thing missing were the ring girls.
Well, I did appreciate the fact that they have to keep Dude Wipe as a sponsor because that's the most obvious wrestling fan sponsor I've ever seen. The most obvious sponsor ever. So, okay,
Hey, that's a great product.
But it seems like under this new Paul Levesque era,
it's TKO. It's all TKO. This is TKO is doing. You know that.
You have not only did you get some of the old sponsors that come back to WWE, but you brought in new ones and even more. And looks like this is if you're doing everything right, it's going to go in the right direction.
All right, let's go quickly. Raw after WrestleMania. You know what this show had to feel to me? And Sal doesn't get this reference, but I'll explain it. It felt like a New Year's Dash in New Japan, where you went in not having a clue what was going to happen. One thing was advertised, and we were blind for the rest of the night, and it ended up being an all right show. Like, I don't know. I enjoyed Raw. Like, I thought it was an all right show. Outside of the 45-minute opening segment, that was way too fucking long. With Triple H, Cody, and the radio and the screens and Mandy complaining because they were playing a song that she didn't want to be associated with this whole thing with Rise Up and all that stuff. So that's the thing. Sal, what do you think of the opening segment?
35 minutes too long. Again, The Rock just dragging shit out. Not really necessary to
Why
be
did he have to
there.
repeat himself over and over and over again? Get to the point.
Yeah, it's I'm glad that he's gone for a while.
Yeah.
But it's got to tell you something, Blake. You will know. It's got to tell you something that I actually stayed and watched for 3 hours. I think for the first time in like over 4 years.
You did. That was a big deal for you. It's a very big deal for you. What was I going to say? Dad, any thoughts on that weird, long opening segment?
Yeah, I think the part that basically kind of went off kilter or jumped the shark is where basically Rock says, "Can I touch yours?" And if Cody says, "Only if I can touch yours."
Just to clarify, people that didn't see the segment, they're talking about. Okay, stop for a second. I'm going to explain that for people that didn't watch Raw. They're talking about Rock wanted to hold Cody's WWE Championship belt, and so Cody
so
has to hold the
awkward.
People's Championship, and the crowd was changing. It's awkward. I didn't want to clarify that because the way Dad worded that was really weird. I didn't want to clarify what the fuck he was talking about, and I'm writing down a time code. Continue.
Listen, you don't have this written down.
That's how it came out, and you knew that people were.
That's not what they said. That's not at all what they said. I don't know what you heard, but it's not at all what they said. But...
Does anyone have? I mean, I saw rumors of what it could possibly. But what was the thing that The Rock gave
Nobody
Cody?
No one knows.
Because I read it was Roman's watch because Roman and Cody got the same Rolex.
I didn't know that.
As a gift from Triple H.
I didn't know that. I don't know about that. I didn't explain it. By the way, after long-term storyline, long-term payoff earlier, right? A video turned up last night during NXT of Cody back when Rock won the WWE Championship back at the Royal Rumble before WrestleMania 29. And he came out, I want to look at your title belt. I want to hold your belt because eventually I'm going to hold this belt. And Rock then reversed it now, saying, I want to touch your belt. All these years later. Isn't that weird? 11 years later, the same thing happened.
Well, The Rock's gotta go away.
Isn't that weird? Isn't that really strange?
That is weird. Okay.
Yeah, that's something I didn't know that.
But like context would have been nice though in the moment because
I know.
I don't think anyone remembered that.
It was an Easter egg that I didn't even know. I paid attention to a lot of stuff. I had no clue about that till last night when it popped up on TikTok during NXT. I had no idea. Okay, real fast. Mix with the rest of this. Ilya Dragunov and Roxanne were on the show. Sal was complaining about Roxanne like he always does. We had a Sheamus return video, which was really a surprise. R-Truth got to finish his story by tagging with John Cena. That was really awesome. His childhood hero, John Cena. Pat McAfee really got to shut up because he almost ruined that moment too. And the Twitter was absolutely crazy because apparently before the show started, there was the layout of the show, and we're supposed after the opening segment, we were supposed to have the match we had with Ilya Dragunov, and then next was supposed to be Jade Cargill coming out to challenge to face Chelsea Green. Well, because Rock and everything went over, everyone's all like, they cut the women's match. Oh my God, they cut the women's match. How dare they cut the women's match? And then within 20 minutes, they're like, Chelsea confronts Adam Pearce and says, I want a match. Oh, look at that. We're having the match after all. You dumbasses online. Wait for them because they're probably going to rework the script. Chill out, people. Oh my God, you were pissing me off on that one. That's why I say on social media during the show. And then in the main event, Jey Uso became the number one contender for Damian Priest because CM Punk came out and screwed Drew McIntyre, and that was hysterical. Even Mandy popped and laughed her ass off at that. That was very, very funny. End the show. Finally, we had NXT. Quick note, because a lot of stuff happened. More stuff happened on NXT than on Raw. What happened on NXT this week?
You skipped over something.
What happened?
You skipped over something.
What I missed? Tell me.
The Uncle Howdy tease.
Oh, yes, thank you. So Uncle Howdy, if you watch the Bray documentary, they teased Bo Dallas coming back as Uncle Howdy at the end of the Bray Wyatt documentary. So when Raw happens, and they had that thing on the screen that you noticed, Sal, I got obsessed with for 20 minutes. In the building, they did what they did with Bray when he was coming back at the White Rabbit thing, the White Rabbit teases in the building, where they cut the lights, went up played the spooky music again. Someone's like, Uncle Howdy? Is he here? Is he coming? Is he finally gonna be? It's not like Uncle Howdy's gonna be coming back. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really upset about it. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I actually have no problem with that. NXT, real fast. Let me go through this. Tina Paxley finally turned on Lyra with Valkyria. That happened.
It's about damn time.
The Italian, for some reason, is on the show feuding with Lola Vice. Nobody seems to know why. I don't even know why Lola Vice exists.
This next line.
Ivar wearing jeans. which comprised the hell out of me, confronted and challenged
You
all
are obsessed with that.
And I'm not the only one. I was at the PW Show NXT, and Kelly was also obsessed with it. He was also obsessed with that. So I felt better. I heard Kelly also obsessed with it. So Ivar coming out with a full Viking and then comes out wearing jeans. I'm like, Vikings wear jeans? Didn't know that. So this week.
And then my response was, well, jeans, so why not?
There you go, Brett Point. So he confronted Talon Obafemi, which I'm not going to lie, it sounds like a lot of fun.
That's going to be an amazing match if that happens.
It's going to be fun. It's going to happen. I think it might happen at the spring breaking shows. Nathan Frazier and Axiom, they did not beat the Wolf Dogs at the PLE, but they did win the NXT Tag Team Championship in the main event of this show. It was a last chance match, and if they lost, they would have had to break up with the team. It was a really exciting ending, actually. It was really, really exciting. And they won the titles. The one thing I will say about this, if people are like, why did the Wolf Dogs not just lose at the PLE? I have a feeling they wanted to make sure Braun Breaker had a win at Stand and Deliver, because that's like their WrestleMania and NXT. And he never won a match at Stand and Deliver. So they want to make sure he has victory there before he left. Apparently, after this match, before the main event segment, Braun grabbed the microphone and said goodbye to the crowd in NXT at the Performance Center. So I think this is his last night in NXT. Officially.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, well, officially. And then out of nowhere, did not see this one coming. The Final Testament comes out, and AOP attacked Frazier and Axiom. Did not see that one coming. That would surprise me.
As you do.
That would surprise me. And in the main event segment, Trick Williams came out, called out Ilya Dragunov. He wanted a title shot. Dragunov said no. And then Trick said, who I have to beat, or what do I have to do to get a title shot? So Dragunov said, fine, you're gonna have a title shot at Spring Breaking in 2 weeks, which happens to be the NXT before the draft starts. And but if you lose this match, you must leave NXT. So either we're gonna have a title change or Trick's going into the main roster. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. One of the two will happen here. So pretty much if they lose the NXT match at this, he says the winner wins the title, loser wins NXT. Well, that's pretty much how this is going to work. But as this is happening, Carmelo Hayes comes out, who's on the show. He pops up, he attacks Trick and challenges him to a cage match next week on NXT. So that is how everything ends. That's how things go. Anyone have anything else before we get out of here?
I think the draft is going to be very.
Oh,
and Dad dropped down on us. So there you go. I don't think he has any Dad. So I'll hit this.
What the rock is cooking?
So I did find the remix for the Final Boss music, by the way. We'll go out with this.
Okay.
Sal, why don't you say your thing?
Yeah, for more information on our show, including where you can find us on social media or watch the show on YouTube, please go to theblakeandsalshow.com. And also, please don't forget to comment or leave a rating and review, and we will make fun of you on the show.
So I've been telling people I returned to work this week and I am fucking tired. So when I get done editing this show, I'm gonna probably go watch Neil Island and chill out.
Yes.
After this.
Taking gummy.
Not tonight. It's
and don't forget to support your local independent wrestling podcast association.
Yada.
The sea. Inside of a swim up bar with fireworks.
By the way,
Dad, they depend on your support.
Dad just texted me his Zoom pros. We'll just wrap up. By the way, we went to a swim up bar when we were back in our last year, and when we were at the Dells. It was fantastic, absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
Next week we'll be here. John Parker will be here. I feel like he's a regular now at this point, so I don't even know why I promote him at this point. But he's a regular, I feel, at this point. But he'll be here next week. We'll talk about AEW Dynasty. That being said, on behalf of Dad, Mark who's not here, it's how you actually get to see your outro today. I'm Blake.
I'm Sal.
And you're listening to the Blake and Sal Show with Mark. Have a good day, everybody.
See ya.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Good night.
Bye-bye, bitch.
Fuck, Cody. Scissoring is painful.